Hi folks, welcome to High Fever. Today we got two things for you. Breaking down the game versus the Storm, and then I did a little piece on whether Diamond Miller is catching up to Aliyah Boston in the Rookie of the Year race. This is a good one. Thanks for sticking around. Hello folks, welcome back to High Fever, the Indiana Fever basketball podcast. I'm your host, Josh Barcenas, and today we're going to be talking about Indiana Fever and Seattle Storm 85-62. Seattle goes to 6-19, and the Fever fall to 6-19, now tied for the worst record in the league. We got blown out by the worst team in the league at home. Jul Lloyd put up 26, Kelsey Mitchell 19 points, Jordan Horston 6, Aliyah Boston 7 rebounds, Jul Lloyd 8 assists, Kelsey Mitchell 5 assists. Damn, we let Jul Lloyd really kill us. This was ridiculous. Such an annoying game, to be honest with you. I mean, it was really just like a total breakdown of everything that the Fever have been trying to work towards. Look, I mean, I'm gonna declare it right now. The defenses have figured out or are now planning for Aliyah Boston. That's just the plain simple fact. And if the Fever and Christie's sides, if they don't come up with a solution, Aliyah Boston is going to keep being ineffective. Look, I've said it from the beginning. This team goes the way Aliyah Boston goes. And honestly, they're just doubling. What I'm seeing is so they'll dump it to Aliyah either in the post or they'll give it to her for like a give and go, and they just double immediately. They double immediately, and one of two things happens. Okay, they either double and they get either a foul or a turnover, because Aliyah can't pass out of it, and that's not her fault. She needs some help. But they run this set so often where the guards will just stay on the edges. They'll just stop. Like there's no movement. It's very stagnant, and it's the same thing every time. It's really frustrating. So anyway, they'll dump it to Aliyah. Okay, she gets doubled, and she can't pass out of it, or she'll get fouled. Or she will pass out of it, and then you've got a problem. Because here's what we found out in these last couple of games. They don't have shooters. Okay, obviously Kelsey Mitchell can pull up. Obviously, actually Erica Wheeler has been trying her mid-range game. Lexi Hall is ineffective from I mean, almost anywhere, unless it's like a drive to the basket. It's getting to the point where you're having a lot of issues out of the double team, and I recognized this earlier before in the season, and they have almost not corrected it. And I understand that you can't magically, wave a wand and make your shooters better, so that way when she passes out of the double team, they can put up a good shot, a high percentage shot. Obviously, you can't magically make that happen, but when you're running the same things multiple times a game, right? And look, that's not to say that Aliyah isn't getting any buckets, because she is. I mean, the fact of the matter is she played 32 minutes and got 14 points, 7 rebounds. It was a good performance, but I'm saying, if you want Aliyah to be this dominant player as a team, and this is what teams have done for Asia Wilson, Brittany Griner to a lesser extent, but in the same vein, if you've got this dominant post player, make sure she's got the tools and the team surrounding her to let her be a superstar, because that's what she was in the first half of in the first half of the season, when these teams just didn't know what they were dealing with. And now that they know exactly what to do, she's going to get bullied, and that's what's happening. It's unfortunate. It sucks to see. And yeah, we're not going to be a good team. All right, we've already we've already gone past the let's try and make this a good season, but it's it's frustrating because I think if it continues on this way, I think Aliyah's growth could be hampered. Um, but that's up to the coaching staff. That's up to them. And look, losing to the worst place to the worst team in the league is not fun. Um, I think it's a new month coming up. The next game is on Tuesday, the 1st of August. I think we finished bottom of the league again. So keep in mind that it's a rebuilding year. There's going to be a lot of changes, but I think if you're Chrissy sides, you need to seriously think about developing some new strategies to help out Aliyah, to help out some of these players who you want to grow with, and maybe you know consider making some moves as far as who gets the minutes. Um, you know, I don't know. I really don't know. There's not much to know or to think after you lose to the last place team in the league, which we are now tied for. So, can't lose to the last place team in the league if you're the last place team in the league. So, anyways, like I said, Tuesday next game at home versus the Mercury. I'll see you then. Hello, folks. Let's do a quick piece on the Aliyah Boston Diamond Miller Rookie of the Year race. There's been some chatter online about how Diamond Miller is catching up and potentially has the opportunity to take the Rookie of the Year from Aliyah Boston. So let's break it down. Aliyah Boston, number 1 out of South Carolina in last year's draft. Diamond Miller, number 2 out of Maryland in the same draft. Boston has played 24 games, 33.3 minutes per game, 14.4 rebounds, 7.8 assists, 59% from the field, and she was an all-star. Diamond Miller, 17 games, 25.5 minutes per game, 13.5 points, 3.9 rebounds, 2.8 assists on 41% from the field. Now, this is where the argument comes in. Since the All-Star break, Boston, 9.5 points, 4.7 rebounds, 1.7 assists on 27.8 minutes per game, and 49% from the field. Miller, 16.2 points, 4.4 rebounds, 4.6 assists on 30 minutes a game, 41.6% shooting from the field. So let's look at some advanced stats. PER, Boston, 23.7, Miller, 16.3. Keep in mind the PER, the league average, is 15. So Boston's usage, the percent of plays where she is used, 19.1, and Miller, 26.8. So those are the numbers. You can interpret those however you'd like. But let's talk about eye tests. What do we got here? What are we seeing as far as on court? Well, what I'm seeing is Boston has been slowing down. Look, I think it's she started off super hot, and I think what it is not that she's getting worse, but that her opponents are starting to know her better. I don't know. I think I was thinking and predicting that her start wasn't going to be sustainable, and this is what it is. This is how it happens when the best players come out, is that at first everybody's a little shocked, they need time, they underestimate perhaps, and then defenses start to adapt and they start to work around her. And that's what I think has happened. Miller's been heating up. I mean, there's kind of no other way to say it. She's been really, really good. And look at this. The Lynx are 12 and 13 on the season, and only getting better. The Fever are 6 and 18, and are most likely going to miss the playoffs. there's not really an argument to be made there. The numbers are what they are. The Fever are just bad. That's not to say that Aliyah Boston is bad, or that means that she can't win the Rookie of the Year. But that's the numbers. That's what it is. There is a winner and a loser every game. And it seems like the Fever and their number one overall pick, Aliyah Boston, have been on the losing side of more games this season. And Diamond Miller is helping her team win. So, will voters take that into account? Maybe. Maybe not. But those are the numbers, and you can make your own choice. Personally, I think Aliyah will win it. I think she's just been too dominant, and I think the All Star starting is going to really help her out in the voters' eyes. What do you think?